That was interesting. My favorite memory of Dad, thinking back, and there's obviously been a lot, but we actually went hiking and fly fishing in the Smoky Mountains maybe, I don't know, 15 or 18 years ago. I had never really been. It's not something I normally like to do. I like to go golf or go to the beach, and just being disconnected is not my comfort zone. And camping, I just never was a camper. I like camping in the hotel room. But, it was like 3 days, 2 nights, fly fishing, hiking around, and it was great. It was just, actually, it is kind of nice to not have a cell phone and not be interrupted in any way once you do it. And so hopefully we can do that again sometime.
When I was 22 years old, just graduated from college, Dad took the family on a trip to a rafting trip down the Colorado River. Awesome trip. Whitewater rafting down the Colorado, big rafts, outfitters, a really good time. Every morning, the outfitters would make coffee over the campfire. And they'd always yell out when the coffee was ready, they'd yell, "Hot coffee!" And every morning my dad would go, "Yeehaw!" And it was so funny, everybody would laugh. And it's just such a great metaphor for him. He's all about family time together. He loves the outdoors, and he just loves the simple things in life, and that's what I really love about him.
He always wanted the company to be a family first, career second. So maybe Todd might appreciate this. When my daughter was born, about 43 years ago, when Todd was born, Jack decided that, hey, we don't have our insurance doesn't cover childbirth this good, because Todd and his sister were twins. So once again, he rounded up the troops, sat us down and said, look, I can't afford insurance to cover all this, but if you have a child, I'll give you a $500 check to cover the rest of it, And so when my daughter was born, we got the bill, and the $500 was exactly what it took to take care of the bill.
I tell you, the first thing that hits me about Jack, and I'm going to say Jack and Mary, his lovely wife. I was fortunate when I was young to be able to sit down with Lou Holtz in a leadership forum, just he and I. And I asked Lou, because I was a new leader, what's the key to leadership? And what Lou told me was leadership, the one question that every team member, player, employee, etc. asks is, do you care about me as a person? And I will tell you, Jack and his lovely wife, Mary, exemplify that.
Jack was always a hands-on, go-to type of owner, even though he never made it seem like he ran his multi-million-dollar company. He was always a person that had an open door. You go and talk to him about anything. You could talk to him about business. You could talk to him about your personal life, and he was always willing to talk and help you with it. And I think what really was neat with Jack is he was always excited about new ideas, new things that came along, and he was always wanting to jump in and give it a try. And I think that's why we were successful at Perfection for so many years and have been. And he grew the business such because he was always one that he wanted to do new things, and he wanted to be on that cutting edge.
Back in 1994, I was what I would call on the corporate ladder of a Fortune 100 company. And I had moved 3 or 4 times in my family through that process to different cities across the Midwest and South. I got a phone call back in 1994, late 94, from the then president of Perfection and Jack Albrecht, who was operating as our chief executive officer at the time, asking me if I'd be willing to think about coming to work for them. Of course, my initial reaction was no. Well, they said, can we come talk to you? And here I am living in Memphis, Tennessee. And I said, well, that's kind of a far piece from Cincinnati to Memphis, but if you wish, you can come. Well, they set it up to come to visit me. I happened to be delayed on a flight from Atlanta back to Memphis, and thinking that they would have canceled their plans when I got home that afternoon, they were sitting in my kitchen with my wife. They being Jack and his president of the company at that time, Mark Noonan. Got to talking, went out to lunch, and there was just something there that Jack instilled. He saw my 4 sons. I guess my twins were about 8 at that time. The middle son was about 6, and my youngest son was a baby, maybe 3 or 4. And he impressed me about the value of what family meant.
So Jack is that person that he always has time for you. It doesn't really matter how busy he is or what he's doing. He'll take whatever time you need. You know, if you walk into his office, he's always up for, a chat or a story, ask you about his family. And just from my own personal experience, I was 22 when I started here, young. My parents didn't live in town. And I feel like he and Mary took me in. They treated me like I was part of their family and invited me to things. And he's just so generous with his time.
Jack really lets things kind of roll off of his shoulders. He doesn't take things too serious. He knows that there's always a solution. Never the end of the world. He always says, this isn't life and death. We'll work through it. Don't worry about it. He's really calm just about all the time. So I think I try to take note of that and try to be the same way where I can.
When Jack meets somebody, his line is, glad to know ya. And he looks them right in the eye, he's like, glad to know ya. And then in business calls, and whether it's in a first call or a closing call, Jack loves to go on appointments with us till this day. And he's getting to know the business or getting to know the customer. And he's like, how can we help you? That's what we want to do. How can we help you? And I take that into my sales calls and appointments today. Like I said, I've been here 19 years, and the owner's conversation is, how can we help you? And that's part of my talk track today. And I always think of Jack when I'm saying in or getting involved with a new account.
I think in his interest in the family, the individuals that work for him, both at business and in their personal lives, their families. He always asks about them. And I think that's the genesis of the phrase, the perfection family. It's a family. And then I guess the best thing, and every time I've seen Jack, he always comes at things from a kind perspective. If there's an error that's made, it's on the side of kindness. And I think that's good for us in our business lives, and it's really good for us in our personal lives.
Jack was an absolutely great mentor. His philosophy on business, his philosophies on customer care, his patience with myself and all of us, and sometimes not so patient, all helped mold me into the person that I am. And there's no replacing that. I mean, it was great to work for Jack and follow his inspiration.
He taught me how to be a compassionate, family-oriented person, because Jack was always family-oriented to his own kids, his wife, his own family. And in fact, he was like that with my family, because my wife and both my daughters worked here for a period of time while I was here. And he made sure that everybody understood where we were going.
Well, Jack, just best to you always. You've been a very long time. We've probably known each other for 25, 30 years professionally. And it's been as professional colleagues, but what I would say is during that time, we've become friends. And that's what's the most important thing. I can't say that about all my clients, probably not even a majority of them there, but a long-standing professional colleague that became a friend, and I just wish him the best always.
Don't worry about perfection, because he left it in good hands. And, enjoy his rest of his life with his wife, Mary, and enjoy fishing. He loves hiking and fishing, so don't worry about perfection. I think we got it.
Dad, make sure you take some, the time off. I know that's something I have a hard time doing. I think you do too. Just really just relax and maybe have a couple days where you do nothing, a couple days a week. I guess I know that you got the time now. You can reorganize the garage once a month for the next 20 years. You have plenty of time to do that.
I think number one, take care of mom. Gotta take care of mom, number one. And he does a great job. So we gotta take care of mom. Number two, it's time to do what you want to do. You spent your whole life, you raised 5 kids. You've been building this business, or basically your whole adult life. It's time to do the things that you want to do. And we've got this here, so you go do what you want to do and have fun.
Just enjoy it, spend more time with your family. I know him and Mary, they take trips all the time. I'm sure they go down to Gainesville because their daughter lives there with a couple of grandkids. And just spend more time with your family and your grandkids.
I would tell him, Jack, enjoy. You've certainly earned it. And I would suggest thank you on behalf of Dave Blevins and my family and the families of hearts and minds of so many others that you have inspired and helped grow through the years and build a career here at Perfection. Thank you very much.
Well, just want to say, Jack, thank you for building such a great company. And your legacy is probably something that a lot of people admire, and I'm one of them. But just a great big thank you, and enjoy your retirement. You deserve it.
And I know Jack's always been a family man, but he's always spent so much time focusing on the company as well. Use that extra time to enjoy your life and have fun and pursue the hobbies that you wish.
Jack has been so kind over the years. Jack and I have had a chance to go fly fishing a lot, and I know how much Jack loves fly fishing. Just Jack is such a good guy. I just hope his retirement lasts many years.
Jack, I've enjoyed it. It's been a great time. I wish you the best of luck, and I'm not too far behind you for retirement. So maybe we can go fishing someday.
The only thing I wrote for a final comment was, you know what they call a happy person on Monday? Retired. So that's it, I think.